4+4 structure, the SSF that Xi Jinping so nicely put forth in front of the world in 2015. It seems it has completely vanished off the face of the earth. In its place, a new aerospace, a new cyberspace, and a new ISF. And what is this ISF? Well, we'll talk about that, because China's military is elevating its information, cyber, and space operations in a clear indication of its priorities as it undergoes the biggest reorganization of its military in nearly a decade. China's military restructuring is focusing on technology-driven strategic forces equipped for modern warfare, as Beijing vies with Washington for military primacy in the region rife with geopolitical tensions. Now, take a look at this. The restructuring follows Xi Jinping's sweeping corruption purge of the PLA last year, which ensnared powerful generals and shook up the rocket force, an elite branch that oversees China's fast-expanding arsenal of nuclear and ballistic missiles. In a surprise move, last week, Chinese leader Xi Jinping scrapped the Strategic Support Force, the SSF, a military branch he created in 2015 to integrate the People's Liberation Army's space, cyber, electronic, and psychological warfare capabilities as part of a sweeping overhaul of the armed forces. Now, in its place, Xi Jinping has inaugurated the Information Support Force, the ISF, which he said was a quote-unquote brand new strategic arm of the PLA and a key underpinning of coordinated development and application of the network information system. We also have defense expert Major General Rajan Kochar weighing in on the restructuring of the PLA.
Whenever we speak of military reforms in the PLA army, one thing has to be kept in mind, that everything is controlled by the Central Military Commission, which is headed by its president of the People's Republic of China, and in today's context it is Xi Jinping. So whenever we see such reforms coming through, as we talk about the Strategic Support Force, which has been disbanded now, and we have the Information Strategic Force in its place. And why it has happened is, so basically for two major reasons. One is that this new organization reports directly to the CMC, and it is not essentially under the 5 theater commands that ensures a direct control over two major elements, cyber and space. PL has realized that future rewards are going to be centralized on space and cyber, and whosoever can control this space will be the winner.
Now, this is the China's new PLA. The new force would play an important role in helping the Chinese military fight and win in modern warfare. The SSF that was before has effectively been broken into 3 units. The Information Support Force, number 1. Then you have the Aerospace Force, that's number 2, and the Cyberspace Force, which will answer directly to the Central Military Commission, the body at top of the military chain of the command, and of course headed by none other than Xi Jinping himself. Now, under the new structure, the PLA now consists of 4 services, which is the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and the Rocket Force, and plus, along with these 4 forces, you have the 4 arms, the 3 units that have been spun out of the SSF, and of course, the Joint Logistics Support Force. Now, experts say on the Chinese military that the reorganization enhances Xi's direct control over the PLA's strategic capabilities. You've got the 4 forces, then you have the 4 arms over there, and underscores China's ambition to better master artificial intelligence and other new technologies to prepare for what it calls the intelligentized warfare of the future. I think the new structure will give Xi better visibility into what is happening in space, cyberspace, and network management. These functions will now be supervised at his level and not through the Strategic Support Force, which served as a middleman earlier. The lack of such visibility could bear high risks, especially during times of heightened tension and deep distrust between Beijing and Washington. Last year, the United States, it shot down a Chinese surveillance balloon after, It traversed the continental United States. The incident caused a fresh crisis between the two powers. That's the one that I'm talking about. And the two powers, there was a fresh salvo between them, and both their bilateral relations plunged into a deeper freeze for several months. United States President Joe Biden said last June that the Chinese leader did not know about the balloon and was very embarrassed when it was shot down after it floated off course into American airspace. But amidst all of this, another beef emerging between the US and China is over the US moving to ban a Chinese social media company, TikTok, which has decided to fight the ban legally. Meanwhile, along with the Information Systems Force, the cyberspace and aerospace units will also be under the direct command of Xi Jinping. Aerospace Force, ladies and gentlemen, is of great significance to strengthening the capacity to safely enter, exit, and openly use space, enhancing crisis management and the efficacy of comprehensive governance in space, and of course promoting utilization of space. Meanwhile, the cyberspace force will be important for the development of cyber security. Take a look at this. You have the aerospace force, and then you have the cyberspace force. Now, aerospace force, its main functions, of course, talk about entering and exiting space. But when you talk about cyberspace, this force will be important for the development of cybersecurity defense methods, reinforcing national cyber border defense, detecting and countering network interventions, and maintaining national cyber sovereignty and information security. Now, information technology essentially is seen as the biggest variable in enhancing combat compatibility. Modern wars are competitions between systems and structures, where control over information equates to control over the initiative in war in the first place. The emphasis on information dominance and this intelligent warfare also has significant implications for any potential future conflict in the Taiwan Strait as well. Well, we told you about the 4+4. We've told you about China's new military. Meanwhile, the American Enterprise Institute has now published a report which estimates China's military spending to be about $710.6 billion. The report states that this calculation is 3 times larger than Beijing's self-reported totals. The report says that Beijing's publicly released military budget is inaccurate and does not adequately capture the colossal scope and scale of China's ongoing military buildup and wide-ranging armed forces and modernization. The report also states that China's military spending is several billion dollars higher than the estimates from the US intelligence community and nearly equals America's defense spending. Take a look at that, ladies and gentlemen.